My name is Siva Yam. I'm the president of the U.S.China Chamber of Commerce. And our corporate sponsor, I would like to welcome you to our 12 years annual U.S.China Chamber of Commerce. It is always a good time to see some old friends and meet some people, some are new people. And I'm very proud that we have people who have been to this conference 11 times in a row. Brian and Brian Taylor, where are you? Yeah, and Brian have been in this conference 11 times. The only conference that he missed was the first one because he did not know about it. Since then, he had been here. He came here for 3 reasons. Number one, to learn something new. Second is to meet people. Third is he goes out to party in the beautiful city of Chicago. Before I turn over the floor to our good friends, Alderman Ed Burke, to make a welcome speech, I would like to thank all the corporate sponsors, Telecom Americas. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate them for opening up their office in Chicago. It is a big step. Midwest is the hub for manufacturing. The economy has been very vibrant, and I 100% confidence that China Telecom will have a tremendous success in the Midwest, and congratulations to China Telecom. And I would also like to make a special thanks to Catherine Milton Rosamond. They were the founding sponsor of this event. They have been sponsoring this event for 12 years in a row, and thank you very much. And we also would like to thank Plante and Moran. They have been a corporate sponsor. They co-chair this event. In Wanshan, America, Wanshan have been a director of U.S.China Chamber of Commerce for over 10 years. They are probably the largest and most successful Chinese investor in America. Briggs and Stratton, the Jordan company, Andy Rice, have been a good friend, and also congratulate to Andy Rice. He had made the chairman of ACG. He runs, he's the chairman of the big organization, over 100,000 members, right, Andy? No. Huh? No? 15,000. Oh, 15,000. And I'm always poor in maths, and I never passed my physics and chemistry. That's why I studied business, accounting. Accounting you can and you don't calculate. And also Institute of Executive Coaching, also Manufacturing News, China Daily, and International Trade Association. And thank you very much to all of them. I would also like to thank all our speakers. Some of them were participants at this conference before. Now they come back to speak with us, and I really appreciate that. They take out their valuable time to share their valuable experience. When you add all the years together, the experience, they have a few hundred years experience. We have about 20 to 30 speakers for this event. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big applause. And I think most importantly is I would like to thank all of you for coming here to give us the support. I understand there have been a lot of changes in the economy, and we are grateful that you come here to join us. Our idea is to build a community so that we work together to make this world a better place to live. I think U.S. and China are the two most important countries. U.S.-China relations is the single most important bilateral relationship. A healthy relationship will determine how well we live together in the future. So I would like to thank you to all of you for coming here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce a very distinguished leader, Alderman Ed Burke. Alderman Burke is the Dean of the City Council of Chicago. He is the most experienced leader in the city of Chicago, and he's also the chairman of the Finance Committee. He's an expert in finance. He worked very hard to make sure that the police are on the street protecting the people, the firemen are working, and make sure that the city is running well. I understand Alderman Burke have a very, very busy schedule. They are talking about the budget, and it is our honor to welcome Alderman Burke. He has been to this conference at least 10 times. So thank you very much, Alderman Burke.
Thank you, Siva, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Mayor Rahm, Emanuel, and all of my colleagues in the City Council, as well as our city's 2.8 million citizens, please permit me the opportunity to welcome you here to the capital of the American heartland. We're delighted to welcome you to this great city this morning for the 12th Annual Trade Conference. I'm delighted that once again we come together to explore the vital links between China and the United States. This friendship has come a long way, has it not? Stimulated by vibrant trade and enhanced business partnerships. We hope that you'll enjoy your time in Chicago. We welcome the presence of our friends from the People's Republic of China and trust that you'll feel at home here in this great metropolis. You represent one of the most amazing global trading nations on earth. Modern opportunities in tremendous abundance shape the economic personality of China. You know, my friend, Chicago is poised next year in 2012 to celebrate the 175th anniversary of its incorporation as a city. And I realize that by Chinese standards, this is a very young city. In fact, Boston, Massachusetts was already more than 200 years old when Chicago was incorporated. But I believe that Chicagoans know that we've made up for lost time. We have always been the most energized city in America. Chicago has led the way as a modern city, an urban gateway to the bounty of America. We are truly the capital of the American heartland. Much of this is due to the great commercial success that came with the railroads. All of the train lines met here in Chicago. And it's also due in no small measure to the establishment of the Union stockyards and the bounty that resulted from the success of the meatpacking industry, which helped to place Chicago at the center of American commercial life. Because of our central geography and the development of our interior waterways, Chicago became the center of the nation's agricultural commodities trading industry. In fact, we boast of the first commodities exchange in the nation. So, Chicago's tremendous growth came about because of its commitment to the industrial and financial enterprises which were shaped by our prairie character. Chicago has a powerful sense of history that surrounds it, all miraculously built up on a piece of land which was originally filled with wild onions, flavored the winds, and which the Potawatomi Indians called Chicago in their native language. It is that commercial success that was the making of Chicago and the help to make us the modern center of global achievements. I'm proud to be able to greet you as friends and wish that you have a very successful conference. Enjoy your stay here in Chicago, and if we can be of any assistance to you during your visit, please don't hesitate to call upon us. Welcome to all of you. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Alderman Burke. And on behalf of everyone participating in the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce Annual Trade Conference, we are proud to present a beautiful roadside to our Alderman Burke.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman Burke.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you. And we look forward to working with Alderman Burke in the future. And once again, Alderman Burke has been a good friend of the Chinese people and of the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce, and we are very proud to have a good friend like Alderman Burke. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to introduce one of the most experienced banker, business manager, venture capitalist Andy Rice, who is also a proud member of the board of directors of U.S.China Chamber of Commerce. Andy Rice is the senior VP for the Jordan Company. The Jordan Company is a billions dollars buyout private equity firm. Andy Rice has been involved in international business for many years, and he's also a very good tennis player. He is also the chairman of ACG with 15,000 members. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Andy Rice. Yeah.
Now, is Sal gonna do some?
Huh?
Is Sal gonna talk first?
Oh yeah, probably. Well, I'm sorry, and I slept all night. I should ask our two co-chairs to come to the podium to make some comments about the U.S.-China trade conference. Sal and Liu, please go to the podium, and you can read their bios in the book. And I'm not going to repeat that. Liu is a partner of Plante and Moran, and Sal is a partner of Ketchum, Milton, and Rosamond. Please join me in welcoming Sal and Liu Longo.
We're flexible. Not a problem. Good morning, everyone. We will keep this on track and get moving quickly and get Andy and his panel up here, which is why you're all here. But I am Liu Longo with Plante and Moran. Pleased to again be co-chair of this event. I've had a great experience. It's nice to be able to see a lot of faces from the past and some clients and some friends from the industry coming together to discuss this important bilateral trade relationship. We really appreciate all of the assistance of Maya and Siva and the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce in what it's done to be able to assist our clients in being successful both inbound into the U.S. as well as outbound from the U.S. to China. I would just like to indicate and acknowledge a few of my colleagues that are here today. You will be hearing from one of them later this afternoon, but in case you have questions or any of us can be of assistance to you over the next day and a half on even just the program or whatnot, please feel free to look for myself or Alex, otherwise known as Chen He, you'll hear this afternoon. He is our China country manager. Helen Wang, who's also from our Shanghai, China office. Gabby Rodil, who's sitting in the back and is based in our Chicago office. And I lost her. There she is, Mariana Misaguchi, also from our Chicago office. So with that, I'm happy to introduce Saul. Have Saul spend a minute talking about Catton and their involvement with the chamber. And if you have any questions that we can help you with, please let us know. Saul?
Hi, I'm Saul Rudo. I'm one of the partners at Catton Mushin here in Chicago. We're a law firm based here in Chicago with offices in New York, LA, DC, Charlotte, London, and we're opening in Shanghai in January. Feng Zhui has been leading our efforts for the last few years to establish our China practice and has been instrumental in working through the process to get us open in Shanghai. I'm taking over this year for Mark Zolno. Many of you probably know Mark, who's led the Catton efforts with respect to the chamber for many years. So those are big shoes to fill, but I'll do my best. And we're happy to help out if you need anything over the next day and a half also. And without further ado, it's now time for Andy Rice and his panel. And Andy's been introduced already. He's a well-known private equity investor with lots of experience over in China. So with that, Andy, go ahead.
Ni hao, good morning, everybody. As Siva mentioned, my name's Andy Rice. I'm with the Jordan Company, and we're one of the leading middle market private equity firms in the U.S. We have about $6 billion under management, and the sales of our companies is about $10 billion US dollars. And we operate more as a private industrial holding company. So we're very involved operationally with our companies. Almost all of our investments are control investments, which means we buy more than 51% equity. And in China, we started sourcing in China in 1990. We've made 29 investments so far in China, and all but 3 or 4 are control positions. And these include acquiring 5 or 6 large state-owned enterprises. Most are, and these are 80 to 100% ownership. And we've also acquired many private companies. Now, 2/3 of our investments are fits with our U.S. Portfolio companies. So if one of our companies is a leader in their niche in the U.S. and they want to follow their customers to China, and we're looking at doing a joint venture or acquiring a local Chinese company, we're bringing more than just money to the investment. You know, we're bringing all of our existing companies' technology, their brand name, their expertise in the industry. And so when you hear that it's very difficult for U.S. companies to get control of a Chinese JV, that might be true if you're just a financial investor that wants to just go there and buy a company for an investment. But if you're doing it to help an existing U.S. company, whether it's a small middle market firm or a larger Fortune 1000 type company, it's more of a strategic fit. And the Chinese are very open to that if they can see the value. And our operating philosophy in China is very similar to the U.S. We like to invest in companies where the management stays on. We typically keep managers. We will add some of our own people that we have in China, former executives from GE, Ingersoll Rand, Emerson Electric, et cetera. We have no expats in any of our companies in China. There's a lot of guys like myself that are based here, fly over to China once a month or so to kind of help out a little bit, but the day-to-day decision-making is all done locally, and we really think that that's important. As I said, most of our investments have been, helping our mid-sized U.S. companies that want to go to China, and this includes auto parts, telecom equipment, specialty plastics, electric motors. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but we did something unique. 5 or 6 years ago, we acquired the 2 largest coal mining equipment companies in China, large state-owned enterprises. We acquired 100% of both those companies. And then over a 5-year period, we did 7 additional acquisitions and joint ventures as add-ons to these businesses. We took the whole group public in Hong Kong early last year. We were this is the first time a foreign company had acquired an SOE and then later took it public from a control position. Many of the foreign companies that have been involved in Hong Kong IPOs had minority investments. A lot of the bigger private equity firms would acquire 10, 20, 30% of a Chinese company and then help them go public. And the business has grown about 30% a year, and we've just agreed 3 months ago to sell the entire business to Joy Global in Milwaukee. They're one of the largest coal mining equipment companies in the world, and we're just waiting for a couple more government approvals. But there's a lot of interesting stories there. The final 2 points is that in the last 3 or 4 years, 80% of our investment in China has been to serve the growing Chinese markets, not to shift manufacturing for low-cost sourcing back into the U.S. I think we're going to see more of that. And the second thing is the Chinese are going to continue wanting to get more access to the U.S. market. We're still the largest, strongest market in the world, and the Chinese are going to make more acquisitions and joint ventures to get access to distribution channels, customers, technology. So those are going to be two big trends that we're going to see. I would like to quickly introduce our panel, and they're going to each come up and talk more about themselves. We have Jim Mayfield, who's president of Del-Nat Tire Corporation, and they're a private brand tire distribution company based in Memphis, Tennessee, with about 200 million in sales. They have a very interesting story. We also have Tom Koltun, president of Kolcraft Enterprises. Many of you who have children are familiar with them. They're a leading manufacturer of children's products. And they have been sourcing in China, and they're looking at establishing a WOFE to explore other opportunities to sell and maybe even manufacture more of their own products in China. And we have Stephen Hyde, Vice President of International Business Development for Navistar, a leading truck and engine manufacturer. And so now I'd like to introduce Jim, if you can go first. And they're each going to give a 5 or 10 minute presentation on their companies and some of their observations about China. And then I'm going to lead a 30, 40 minute Q&A discussion, and then we'll open it up to the floor for some questions. So, Jim?
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. We've been a part of the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce for, I think, 8 years now. So it's good to see Siva and Maya again and have this opportunity. Del-Nat Tire Corporation is a private brand tire distribution company headquartered in Memphis, Tennessee. Private brand means that we own brands and we have to find manufacturers to produce our brands for us. We own the Delta brand, the national brand. We were formed from the two separate companies that have been around for many years. The National Tire Company was founded in 1935, the Delta Tire Company in 1959, and then in 1989 the two companies came together in Memphis to form Del-Nat Tire Corporation. We're a Khoa, so we're a little bit different business model than many of you. We are owned by our customers. We have 75 independent tire dealers throughout North America and Japan who own the company. We have a set of bylaws that govern the company. We have a board of directors that are elected from those 75 independent tire dealers. They elect one of the board members as chairman, and then the chairman decides who the president is, and then I have the opportunity to lead the organization. We have 500,000 square feet of indoor warehousing in Memphis, Tennessee. We supply everything from a small wheelbarrow tire to a large off-road tire for a front-end loader, and everything in between. We have about 675,000 tires in inventory right now. We ship trailer loads quantities to our stockholders, mix everything that we have in the building to supply tires for them so they can source from one location a variety of the tires that they will need. You can see that we take very seriously how we warehouse, how we manage that. Everything is 5 racks high, and we feel that we're very efficient in how we manage that. Now, why is China important to us? China is important to us, as you see here on this slide, in the amount of product that we source. Over the last 12 months, almost $110 million worth of our product has been sourced from China. Now, I know that over the last several years, there's been a lot of discussion as to why U.S. companies are sourcing product out of China. It was simple for us. For the last 15 years, U.S. manufacturers, U.S. tire manufacturers, have slowly gotten out of the private brand tire business. For many years, private brand was their way of filling the capacity in all their factories throughout the U.S. But over 15 years, they've been consolidating their production. They've been rationalizing it to get it down to a level where they produce their brands and they don't want to produce private brand anymore. As a matter of fact, today, the only U.S. manufacturer that continues to build private brand product is Cooper Tire and Rubber out of Findlay, Ohio. They are our largest supplier of tires, but we have to go other places around the world to source other products. And in China, we find more independent manufacturing facilities than anywhere else in the world. And it's key for us to find independent manufacturers that are not controlled by the major global tire manufacturers because we don't have access to those plants. So it has worked for us since 1999 when we went into our first agreement with Guizhou Tire in Guiyang, China, to start producing tires, and we continue to have them as one of the major suppliers of our product. Some of the cost impacts that we have faced over the last 2 years are partially imposed by the U.S. government. In 2009, the current administration decided that they were going to impose a tariff on consumer tires. Now, consumer tires represent for us about 68% of our business. So in 2009, the administration imposed a 35% tariff on consumer tires. That's a 3-year tariff that each year drops by 5%, and in September of 2012, that tariff will go away. So if you're thinking about your landed cost of product and trying to manage that landed cost, it was difficult with our landed cost going up as much as it did in 2009 and managing through that process. The more difficult piece of that is in 2012 when that tariff goes away, and how do you manage your landed cost of inventory that could devalue by 15 to 18% overnight on September 27th of 2012. So that's one of the issues we faced, one of the cost issues that we continue to face today. Raw materials. Raw materials this is an unprecedented time in the tire industry for raw material price increase.